Hello and welcome to the second lesson for Python programming. So in this lesson I would like to cover something what we started last time. I mean we downloaded Anaconda, we installed Python, we installed Pygame. If you forgot how to do it, please refer to the first video available under the link posted on the website. In this lesson, I would like to touch some stuff as what is IDE, Integrated Development Environment, and why it's good, and what's the difference with just usual editor. We will tell what is the Python program and how we can execute it, right? And we will open Spyder, which is IDE for Python from Anaconda. And I will show you what it consists from. It consists of editor itself and ipython, so-called interactive Python, super cool project. What helps you to debug, what helps you to explore something. And at the end of this lesson, we will write simple hello world example. And we will see how we can use interactive Python, ipython, inside Spyder. So let's start. First of all, what is Python program? It's nothing else than text, basically text. You can open any text editor. Let me try to open any text editor. You can create new file and start typing some commands. But Python understands, right? So we can write some commands. We can do something like hello world, for example, and then we can execute this program, which is nothing else than text. That's it, right? But when computer interpreter Python reads this text, it goes line by line and executes those lines. Okay, what's the Python program itself? So at the end of the day, you need to know how you need to program. And what does it mean? It means to give computer certain commands in Python language. And when computer reads those commands line by line, executes them, and does miracle things just for you, whatever you require. Of course, after time you will understand what actually it's not so easy to make computer to make things what you want, and there are a lot of mistakes usually, and this process is called debugging to find a bug. Actually, it's very interesting story about bugs, mistakes in the programs. Initially, when computers were really big and occupied like multi-story buildings, computers were based on not on microschemes, they were based on lumps, like usual lumps. And what happened inside these buildings, there were some insects like cockroaches, and when sometimes these cockroach go to the connections, electrical connections, and do shortcuts over there, and when computer didn't work basically, and the process of finding the bug in this big building is called debugging, right? So, but nevertheless, let's start with something what you require with more practical knowledge. So again, we start from command start menu. You will find here Anaconda, free, 64-bit. You'll start right now Spyder. Spyder, let's give it a moment for it to launch. Spyder is nothing else than integrated development environment. And what's the difference between integrated development environment and usual editor? I will show you right now. So integrated development environment consists of two sides. Like here, it's usual editor. Let me create a new file, which we will write. So we don't need actually what stuff at all. It doesn't matter. So here, it's usual editor. Actually, we will write text here. You can use for editor anything like Notepad, Notepad++, Microsoft Word. It doesn't matter, right? Anything, actually, literally anything. And but the good stuff about integrated development environment is what you write here your Python program, right? And then you can click on this button, run file, right? And it will execute your Python program. Super cool. You don't need to do extra steps to execute your programs. Actually, if you compare with just a usual example, I'm not going to full usual editor, sorry. You can type your program here, like commands what Python will execute, right? Save it as a file, and then you can come here to Anaconda prompt, and from the prompt you can type something like Python, name of a program, and it will do the job, right? So kind of extra steps. But you know, laziness is the progress. Like actually progress is made by lazy people because they don't want to do certain things. They just do as little as possible and as convenient as possible too, right? So here exactly what we will do. That's why IDE is so important. You don't need to go to Anaconda prompt. You don't need to save this file, open Anaconda prompt, execute Python, and then see your result. No, sometimes you actually need, but let's start with something easy. IDE here. So on the left-hand side, it's editor. On the right-hand side is ipython. ipython is super cool. It's actually one of the most useful tools from Python. And over the time, you will see how I use it. But in some words, it's basically it's called interactive Python. So in interactive Python, you can examine variables. You can examine some packages. It's kind of playground and debugger in the same time. Like I'm using ipython quite a lot just to get an idea about what is my variable at what certain time, to explore packages, because sometimes it's very difficult to go through all the documentation and when I just explore the packages here. You will see how it works. Like for example, let me show you a few things. If I you don't need to understand all the details right now, but if I import the library is the collection of already written programs, right? Something import numpy, right? And if I do in interactive Python, I do numpy dot, and when I double click on tab button, or even once, I see all the functions what I given, like arctan, arcsinus, arcmarks, like all that stuff what is contained in numpy library. Super cool, right? And when I choose something like I don't know, let's take something easy, arctan, right? And I need to know about this function. I can type like arctan question mark. Click on that, you see it gives you help right away inside here, and then you can read. Okay, what does it do? Okay, oh, it's quite a lot, man. It's trigonometric inverse tangent, element-wise. Okay, nice, right? So the inverse of tan, when y equals tan, tangents of x, x equals arctan y, right? So, for example, what's super cool as well, I can check right away my understanding of what stuff. Arctan 1.0, Arctan 1.0, I expect like pi over 4, and here exactly pi over 4, and moreover, if I do numpy dot something like p and the top, I see there is numpy pi number, right? And numpy pi number, let us explore it. I click enter, it gives me the number, right? And numpy over pi over 4 should give me this exact number, right? Look at that. Like artan 1.0, and here it's the same number, right? So I know math approximately, right? So this is what I'm talking about. IPython is super cool. It gives you ability to explore packages. It gives you ability to print out variables. It gives you ability to get some help without going to Google and read all this documentation. You can do it right here. While you write program on the left-hand side, you can do some magic here to explore the stuff. Super cool. Like this is a must tool that you need to start using with Google, actually. Okay, all programming languages always start with hello world example. Just to be able to write simple program that outputs hello world. I don't know where this tradition came from, but we will do the same here, right? So to write hello world example, we will do something like let us create a variable, and we will do a little bit more interesting stuff. No, let us do here program. So there is a command in Python that outputs actually text in the screen, right, on the screen. So it's called print. Print accepts strings. Strings is a string, is a literal, like text, actually, right? So I can specify any string in print command, and not only string. I can specify variables too, like integer numbers, and it will be converted to a string and output to the screen. So strings in Python are specified by quotation mark or usual how it's called just one quotation mark. I'm not sure. I will check. I will check how it's supposed to be in English. How it is called in English. So I usually use double quotes. Singular quote, exactly. You can specify string by double quote or single quote, right? So inside two double quotes, you can specify anything here, and what's my text, right? Everything between those double quotes. So what I will do here, hello world. Wow, nice. Let us save this file, right? So let me go to D drive, documents, projects. So let me create something like Python programming. I will create here we'll call this file hello.py. Okay, hello.py. Nice, I'm ready. So to execute this program, I will just run file. Okay, nice. Look at what. Look at what. It output hello world. Nice. So now, and here I can actually, it executes the program here in interactive Python console. Why it's so useful? Because I can actually examine all variables what I specify here. What is variable? Variable is something that contains something like a value. So variable has a name and a value, for example. So let me specify my variable called name. Name is a string variable, so it has a name. It's kind of double name, or let us call it a little bit here, a little bit different string. We will call it world, right? So what does it mean? What did I do actually? I called my variable by the name string, and the name string contains value, and the value is a string itself. It's called world. It's a text actually. Variable name string. It contains text world, right? Okay, nice. So what I can do, now I can do something like hello, and I can concatenate strings. I can say, okay, print hello plus string plus exclamation mark. So what will it do? What do you think? It's actually supposed to do the same stuff as hello world, what we did before. Let us execute. Okay, it did the same, right? It printed out hello first, then it added to the left-hand side string variable. So I told like plus string, but string contains the value world, so it will use the value of the world anywhere where I type string plus exclamation mark. Nice. So you think like, what's the difference? The difference is what? In interactive Python, it executed my stuff here in the interactive Python console. And here now I can actually explore all the variables what were set up here, right? Why it's important? Let me see. I have variable string. Oh, okay. It has the value world. I can check what happened in my program right away, right after execution. Why it's important? Because in real life, when you execute your program, program has ended or it produced the error, and you don't know what happened actually. Why your program crashed? Real life of programmer consists of probably 20% of writing the code and 80% of finding mistakes, why this code doesn't work. So in reality, it's really hard to understand where your program crashes and why it doesn't produce proper results. But here, at least, when I executed my program, I have all my I executed the text, but the funny part, I executed in interactive Python console. So here I have access to all variables what I specified here, and I can examine it here. That's why it's super cool. Interactive Python is a must thing to know for you. First of all, it contains all the variables when you can import and play with libraries here. You can examine those variables. You can get some help just by clicking tab button, and it has so much functionality that you must use with Python. Okay, thank you for your attention. Please post your comment if something is not clear.